If your tomatoes taste flatter than the ones your grandmother grew, and every spring you drive back to the store to buy the exact same seeds all over again, there's a reason for that. And it is not that you forgot how to garden. It is that most of the seeds sold today are built so they cannot be saved. By the end of this video, I will show you the heirloom seed-saving method gardeners used for thousands of years, before anyone sold seed in a paper packet. Plus, the full 3-part protocol I built for the people inside the Sovereign Garden Code, this week for $24. But first, the one thing on the seed packet that quietly decides whether you can ever grow that plant again. Look at almost any seed packet in a garden center and you will see 2 little letters after the name, F1. That stands for first filial generation, and it means the seed is a hybrid, a deliberate cross between 2 carefully chosen parent plants. Here is the honest part, because you deserve the honest version. F1 hybrids are not evil, and they are not genetically modified. They germinate fast, they resist disease, and they crop uniformly, which is exactly why commercial growers love them. But they carry one built-in limit that no store is going to say out loud. When you save seed from an EF1 hybrid, the next generation, called F2, does not come true to type. The plants scatter. Some tall, some short, some tasteless, some barely productive, all of them a gamble. So you cannot reliably grow that same tomato again from your own seed. You come back and buy it. Season after season after season. The University of Illinois. Extension puts it plainly. The first step in seed saving is choosing open-pollinated varieties, because seeds saved from F1 hybrids will not breed true the next year. That is the whole quiet mechanism. Not a conspiracy, just a business model that works better when you cannot save your own seed. Now here is the part that changes everything, and it is genuinely good news. There's a second kind of seed, and it has been around far longer than the hybrid, open-pollinated. And its oldest branch is the one you have heard called Heirloom. Let me tell you about Frank, 71, up in Vermont, because his story is the whole point of this video. Frank spent 30 years buying new seed every single spring. Then a neighbor, an old Amish grower, handed him a small paper envelope of bean seed and said, "These have been in my family since before the First World War." Frank planted them. He saved seed from the best plants that fall. He has not bought a bean seed since. And every year those beans get a little more suited to his own cold, short Vermont season, because he is selecting them quietly, generation by generation, for his exact patch of ground. That is not magic. That is the oldest agricultural technology on Earth, and it still works. An open-pollinated plant is simply one pollinated the natural way, by wind, by insects, by its own flower. Save its seed, plant it next year, and it comes back true to type. Your Cherokee purple tomato grows into another Cherokee purple tomato. Your golden bantam corn grows into golden bantam corn. All heirlooms are open-pollinated, though not every open-pollinated variety is old enough to be called an heirloom. The rule is simple enough to carry in your head. If you want to save seed, grow open-pollinated or heirloom, never save from an F1 hybrid. Before I show you how to actually save that seed so it survives the winter and sprouts in spring, I need to stop for 4 minutes and be straight with you about something. Everything I just told you, the EF1 problem, the open-pollinated fix, Frank and his beans, that is the why. But the why is not the same as the how. Knowing you should save open-pollinated seed does not tell you how to clean a tomato seed so it does not rot, how to test whether last year's seed is even alive before you waste a whole bed on it, or how to store seed so it is still good 3, 4, 5 years from now instead of dead by March. Get those 3 steps wrong and even perfect heirloom seed fails, and people quietly give up and go back to the store, convinced seed saving does not work for them. So I put the exact method into one place, the Sovereign Garden Code, and I built it around the 3 protocols that actually decide whether your saved seed lives or dies. The first is the wet gel fermentation protocol, the step-by-step way to clean the natural sprout-blocking gel off wet seeds like tomatoes and cucumbers, which also kills off common seed-borne disease, so germination climbs instead of collapsing. The second is the 10-seed viability test, a dead simple way to know your real germination rate before planting season, so you never lose a bed to seed that was never going to sprout. The third is the cool, dry longevity storage method, the exact moisture and temperature approach that takes seed from lasting 1 shaky season to staying alive for years in an ordinary drawer. Inside the full code, you also get the 30-day Sovereign Soil Stack, a heirloom seed sourcing guide so you know which varieties actually come true, the companion planting map, and lifetime updates. The whole thing this week is $24, one time, not a subscription, less than a single hybrid seed order at the garden center. And it is protected 90 days, full money back, no questions, no justification, and you keep every bonus even if you ask for a refund. Members report bigger, more consistent harvest by the second season, though individual results always vary with your soil and climate. Link is in the description and in the pinned comment. And I will remind you once more near the end. Okay, back to the video, because now I want to show you the actual seed-saving steps, starting with the one most people get wrong on tomatoes. Here's the honest walkthrough, the 70% you can start this weekend for free. Step 1, choose your plant, not just your fruit. Save seed from your healthiest, most productive, open-pollinated plant, because next year's crop inherits that parent's traits, so you are quietly breeding for the best. Step 2, for wet seeds, like tomatoes, scoop the seeds and their gel into a jar with a little water. That gel is a natural sprout inhibitor, and it has to come off. Let it sit loosely covered at room temperature for a few days until a layer forms on top. That short ferment strips the gel and knocks back disease, and the good, heavy seeds sink. Rinse the sinkers. Spread them on a plate, never a paper towel they will glue to, and dry them completely. Step 3, dry is everything. Damp seed molds and warm, damp seed dies fastest of all. Get them bone dry, then store them somewhere cool, dark, and dry, low humidity, low temperature. Done right, tomato seed stays viable 4 to 6 years, strongest in the first 3. Step 4, before you ever plant a bed next spring, test. Take 10 seeds, roll them in a damp paper towel, slip it in a bag somewhere warm, and count how many sprout in a week or so. 7 of 10 is 70% viable, still perfectly usable. You just sow a little heavier to make up the gap. That single test saves you an entire wasted season. Now picture next year for a second. You walk out to a garden, grown from seed you saved, from plants that already proved themselves in your soil, that cost you nothing this spring, and taste like the ones you actually remember. The year after that, those plants are even better suited to your ground because you have been selecting them, just like Frank did with his beans. That is what saving seed really buys you, not just a cheaper garden. A garden that is finally, quietly yours. The full 3 protocol method, the sourcing guide, and the 30-day stack are all inside the Sovereign Garden Code. $24 this week, 90 days money back. Keep the bonuses either way, and the personal soil email bonus closes 48 hours after you watch this. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. If a garden you never have to rebuy is worth $24 to you, it is waiting. And whether you ever open that link or not, do one thing this season. Save seed from one open-pollinated plant. Just one. Because the moment you do, you stop renting your garden and start owning it. If this is the kind of gardening you want more of, the old, self-reliant kind, subscribe to this channel and I will keep showing you exactly how it is done.